Welcome to the Delco Nerd Network Hot Takes. What is a hot take, you may ask? Well, it's where a few friends in the Delaware County area get in a basement, talk about a certain movie, a game, or a TV show, give our thoughts, give our opinions. Today, we're going to be talking about the newest movie in theaters, and that movie is Ready Player One, based off the hit book of the same name by Ernie Klein. So, opening thoughts.
Are you on a first name basis with Ernie?
Yeah, I mean that's his name.
I like it.
Ernie, my boy Ernie.
Ernie.
I think it says. I don't think it says Ernest Klein on the book. I think it actually does say Ernie. But Tim Appleby, Chris Trio, Delco Nerd Network hosts, including myself. I already said my name, so I won't say it again out of redundancy. But
I appreciate that.
Ready Player One. You know, this was a fun film. We got to watch
definitely
last
the
night.
best.
Fun's gonna be the key word today.
It really is.
Yeah. It's really okay. Ready Player One is like, yeah, it is a film for all ages. It's a fun, good time, good popcorn flick. Don't take it too seriously. You know, don't go in there thinking it's gonna be some like commentary on something, because it's really not. It's really just about nostalgia, making references to past video games, 80s references. There's actually, I feel like, more notice towards the references in the trailer than there actually is in the movie. There's a lot of shit going on.
It's more visual.
Movie.
I'll agree with you in some parts on that, in the fact of like they're more just like this is in the background. It's not like they're really like, hey, like they do a Marty McFly reference, of course. He's like, hey Marty, but like I will say that they keep it mostly to just like, hey, there's cool shit in the background. And then sometimes they do lean into what it is. Yeah, but sometimes they do lean into a little bit. But continue.
Yeah. Like his car is a DeLorean.
Like, I like the movie. And none of us have read the book, so we don't have that opinion perspective.
One really funny thing, I feel like that book has had an opinion turn on it so quick in like the past couple years that this has been made. Because I remember when this was announced that people were like, Ready Player One, really good book, I really enjoyed it, blah, blah, blah. And then as this movie's coming out, I feel like I see everyone all over the internet like, this book stinks, I don't even know why we're making this movie. And I'm like,
I've heard like mixed things about the book.
The internet. Funny thing.
It's weird how the internet's like that, you know?
But yeah, it's a good movie. And I'm not I think overanalyzing it would be silly. It is literally a good movie, and it has some obvious flaws, but I think it does what it was supposed to do well. It's not one of Spielberg's best films in any sense of the imagination, but I thought it was cool, and it seemed to adapt the source material pretty well for the most part. I know somebody who likes the book a lot, and they really enjoyed the film.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see like what
is
bigger differences between the books now that we've added all these new characters and stuff. That
I feel like when we walked out, I said I feel like I could tell you probably what they cut down, because there were some parts that were like skimmed over. Like not a lot of the characters were super extensive at all. None of them were.
Even like his family, you don't know much. That's what, like, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't call this movie good. I'd call it fun. That's really.
I mean, like, it wasn't a good film.
It really.
I don't think it was a fun movie.
Exactly. And that's and I guess that's what it comes down to, and that's fine. Actually, I checked the movie time before we went into this, and I was like, oh, this is 2.5 hours.
It felt a little lengthy. Maybe it was because it was late and I was kind of tired, and I get like that, but.
That definitely gets into it.
It felt lengthy.
Like, what I thought, I was like, 2.5 hours? Oh, am I going to be checking my watch the whole time in here? I hope we're in the Oasis more than we're in the real world. And most of my fears were alleviated. I checked my phone once near the end just because I knew it was getting late, and I just wanted to make sure, like, see what time it was. But it wasn't really out of, like, the fact that I was bored, I will say. And that, I guess, was the main goal for me out of this movie.
Yeah, I don't think I was ever bored. But anyway, before we get too much into that, I just want to... So, like, the main premise of the movie is there's this game designer who's Jim Halliday in the movie. They like, he becomes this icon celebrity of like the gaming and pop culture world,
like an ultimate Steve Jobs,
right? Like very similar to Steve Jobs, and he creates this like world, this virtual reality game or game world called the Oasis, and he's like, you know, basically this very like old school, you know, no rules kind of visionary.
Yeah.
And he like signs over half the company or something. I forget what.
I see that confused me a little bit too. He's very like, I really actually liked the guy who played Holiday. He's obviously like an introverted guy. And
he's very awkward.
And he's very awkward too. But like I really every time he was on screen, I actually enjoyed watching him, and you get to see some of his old memories because like so he dies. That's the first thing you find out in the movie. 5 years ago, before this movie takes place, and there's been this whole Easter egg hunt to basically win his company, right? More or less.
Yes. Yeah.
And you see him, and his avatar is still in the game, and I really liked. Did you like the animation style of like the whole?
Dude, the CG
Oasis?
was like top notch, and I never felt like it was supposed to be real. Like the Uncanny Valley never came into question.
And that's why I appreciate
even though
it
like Parsifal and Artemis are supposed to look real for the most part. Like they are fantastical looking, but like they're not like anything too nuts.
Well, that's the thing. They're enough removed from like human looking to you're like, this is fine, this is cool. I enjoy it.
And
I
have
really
characters like H who are like not human looking at all.
Yeah. I really I don't know the weird kind of texture they had going on everyone.
Yeah,
I thought it was
their
really
skin, like had like cells.
Yeah,
on
it was really cool. But that we spent enough time in the Oasis too. I think I was afraid there wasn't going to be enough.
There was a good contrast.
It was probably over 50%.
I'd say over probably 60,
Yeah.
70%. Really, but most of it was in there. And there was. I was a little confused on the backstory of like the world. He kind of explains it in the overall thing at the beginning.
It's very skipped over. And one thing, so like it's very taken about. It's very Fallout-esque, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. It seems like the world like stopped in the 80s and picked up in 2020. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Based on like
nothing. Yeah, I get.
And that's
exactly
probably
what you're saying.
coming from the author's perspective.
Totally.
He was like the book was published in 2011, so this guy, I mean, he's definitely an older guy.
Yeah.
And so he probably grew up in the 80s, and that's I think that's pretty apparent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like Fallout has that sense where like it's all like 50s-esque culture, but it's like 2027.
Yeah, but it's
Or
very
not
future.
20, it's
It's
22,
very
2277.
Yeah.
Like it's retro futuristic.
We're in an 80s future right now. I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
So,
that
the
does make total
VR,
sense.
Like the virtual reality stuff like they have going on is like very, very like how I would imagine the 80s
would have
imagine.
pictured that this would be.
So they have like a full body armor suit that like so you can feel
everything.
what's going on in like the virtual reality, which is like I'm sure that
the like the
that was
omnidirectional
dream.
treadmill and stuff like that.
There's a bunch of references to 80s things and not, but then like when it gets into like. And then there's references towards stuff that's modern, but you can tell it's derived in the 80s stuff.
Totally. And even
it would have been different if like somebody from like our age did the same thing. Like all the references would be different.
And even just because we get to base it off of our technology already, and then we get to elaborate.
And
on
we
that
already
into the
have
future.
VR.
Like insane. Yeah. And what was I gonna say? Something. Oh yeah. So I really liked how they set up his whole rig and like how he has like the treadmill and like that's like does that actually?
Treadmills,
I thought that was really cool. I thought they explained it really well. I was like, so wait, he's just standing here? How is he gonna move in this place? But that kind of comes back up again later in the movie when he's in the back of a truck, and I'm like, how is he moving around if there's no like thing on the bottom of the?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can see later like there were people like in the streets just wearing.
That's what. So I guess like I'm interested to see how like that technology. It works well enough.
I would have liked to see a scene where like
some kid runs into a wall.
Yeah, some kid like runs into a wall. That would be really funny.
Yeah,
because
like
play on the VR. Side.
Yeah, and like everyone is immersed in the Oasis. For the most part, everyone in society is part of this game.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not really it is a game, but it's more just like a second,
it's an escape. It's a second life.
Well,
yeah,
it's
really.
not only a game too. It like the economy starts to bleed over into this game. So like, and one of the biggest features of the Oasis is if you die in the Oasis, you lose all of your progress and your money that you made in the game.
Yeah. Forever,
that's how you would buy like
real
stuff
yeah.
is with like your Oasis credits. So
yeah,
I love the one scene with the guy he loses and he's like and then he's about to jump out the window and they're like no, they tackle him. It was very interesting. I didn't even think about that aspect at all going in. But
so maybe there was a little bit more depth in that perspective. But the movie doesn't really focus.
Yeah, it's
no,
not.
It doesn't.
When I said depth, I'm more meant like something political. It's more like underlying like tones towards like the gaming
like
industry.
and I would even say
some
like
things that like parallel like. Of course, like let's talk about like CS:GO skins and how they parallel with real world money. Like there's an economy in Counter-Strike that is just fucking skins and they're
Right.
worth
Yeah.
something. So that
Now that I
there's
think about
parallel
it, there was some notes to the video game industry today where it was the antagonist of the film, I forget his name, but he's this big corporate
Nolan
businessman
something.
who
That's
wants
the guy from
he
Rogue
wants
One,
to
the bad
find the
guy.
egg for himself to like take over the Oasis and make money and do that. But
Classic bad guy.
Like, we see this flashback, and this isn't really a spoiler.
Yeah.
We see this flashback of the antagonist like talking to Halliday and suggesting that he do like a tiered model. Where
He's like,
the more you pay, the more you get.
He's like, we
And
can go
Halliday,
bronze, silver,
you can see
gold.
Halliday like totally ignore him because
Literally.
that was his like personality. But
I did love
I
that.
thought that was an interesting little.
He totally just
Yeah,
goes,
yeah.
"Thanks for your coffee. Thanks
Yeah.
for the coffee." And he
He
just turns
said
away.
something like, "This is a really good latte. Thanks." Like,
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, and who else? Simon Pegg was in this. I didn't realize
Yeah, I
he was
didn't
going
know
to
he
be
was in
Yeah.
this movie.
He was-
I was like, is that Simon Pegg? Like,
And that's the part. So there's like a part with him. He's his business partner. That's the thing that confused me. I was like, so wait, did Og, who's Simon Pegg, leave, or did Halliday leave? Because I assumed he would have had control over the Oasis if he
I think
implanted all the. So I
Og
assume Og
leaves.
got bought. Yeah,
yeah.
and I liked how they played that relationship. They weren't like a heated partnership. Like they didn't hate each other or anything like that. I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah. Some cool twists and turns. I will say, like, starting to talk into more of like the negatives of the movie. The acting and like the writing and stuff was
There's
just
some
there
is some rough.
a
parts.
Let me-
whole bunch of corn. Man.
I want
It
to
was,
speak to the corn because I think it's supposed to be a little corny.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I feel like the corniness is like the charm of the movie, and like whether it's kind of like cringy or bad is just the way the movie's supposed to be written in the tone of the book. Like I can't speak to the book, but like that's just what it
Yeah.
seems, and it
Kinda
kind of
like
and it makes sense. to be
corny,
honest.
nerdy kids and stuff.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate
Yeah.
Wade at all. The main dude.
Yeah,
I think he had
I
some.
didn't
Yeah,
hate any of the characters.
I do
Yeah.
think it was more of. I didn't hate the acting. I really just kind of hated the writing, mostly in some
Yeah.
parts. And
Yeah.
like,
There's only so much you can do with like a
Yeah.
really cheesy line. Like,
yeah, I do want to get into some spoilery stuff here. So if you're still watching, go watch the movie. I think it's worth your money
Yeah, I
to
think
go
it's-
see
I
in
think
the movie
it's good.
theater.
I mean, if you like video games, period. Like,
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy
like
it.
it. It's
Yeah.
it's a really fun movie, and
Yeah.
it's
I was
like-
smiling the whole time.
Yeah,
I really was.
It was awesome. It was
Yeah.
it was a fun ride. I really liked it. It's just visually very exciting.
Yeah.
It was never a dull moment. In
Yeah,
the movie.
I wasn't bored at all, which I can't usually say that in a 2-hour and 20-minute film.
Right.
But so getting into spoilers here.
Right.
It's not really a gigantic one, but he lives with his aunt, and his aunt gets killed by what is it? IOI? Is that the name?
Yeah.
Iowa, yeah.
And like that's it, and it's like never referenced again. Like he doesn't even. It doesn't
He
even look
doesn't
like
seem
it.
like he cares.
Like it doesn't even look like he cares. But
He
like,
gets over
and
it
it's
real
confusing because he seems to kind of care about her at the beginning because he's like,
Uh-huh.
why do you deal with this? Like he has an abusive.
Like he
She
gets
has an
kicked out of the
abusive-
house, which they totally glance over.
Well,
It's
I
a
don't think
thro-
he did get.
It's yeah, he did.
No, she goes, if you touch my stuff again, I'm going to throw you out. And then he doesn't, and then that's it. And then, because remember, he calls her, and then she's like, I want to talk to
the
Wade.
uncle or the boyfriend of the aunt like says something like
Yeah, but then she says, like, get the fuck out of here or whatever. She's like, no, get out of here. And she does say, like, wait, if you take my stuff again, I will kick you out. He's not kicked out at that point. He just has his other spot over in the stacks.
I'm not saying that he was kicked out, but it seemed like he wasn't living there based on like something that he said. Because he's like, oh, you sent me the suit, like he didn't actually give it to him.
Well, no, that's why I thought he was living there, because he had the suit stored in there. That's how he got it. I don't think he was kicked out. Anyways, so she's gone, and then that's like a very glossed over thing. Like, there's just a lot of things where I'm like, that just...
Yeah,
I know it's a leap
there's
and bound,
definitely,
but that doesn't make
like
any
in the
sense.
book. That was definitely like there was more about that, but
Yeah,
in the
and it
film
makes
they
more
just
sense.
didn't have the time to hark on
I
it.
think one thing that like really started to break the immersion, sort of, or not that I was immersed, but like
I get what you're saying.
I was
it
so
broke
immersed,
a logical
man.
chain for me.
Yeah.
Was when toward the end, which
Oh,
is
the
obviously
cops.
really spoiler. Well, the cops too.
Yeah, the cops are big ones.
That's another thing.
Dude, yeah,
It was like toward the end where they all start meeting their like real life people. Like all of these people just happened to be like in the same area.
Yeah.
I don't
Otherwise,
think
there's no other explanation. I mean,
See,
how do you get?
I don't think it was necessarily that they were in the same area.
I think it was. How is that 11-year-old kid going to get to?
I don't know.
I think they all live. Yeah, they all live around there. They have to. That would be
And,
the only thing that
See, I guarantee in the book they probably live in other places. And
I still don't even know how that would make.
Because there's
because you can just that actually
there's
you're
more
right.
to explain.
Well, you can just jump back and it's a book. It's way easier to do. But even that, I think it wouldn't really make sense if that whole and
it just like
I'm curious if that
it
whole
was
truck
like
scene is in the book. I really am. I really am curious to see what
was
his
her
book
name?
the redhead chick.
Artemis?
Yeah,
Artemis. I
that's
can't remember her real name.
Samantha.
Samantha. Yeah.
She gives a warning to like the other two characters that the protagonist meets in the Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
So it was H, Shaito, and Sho, or Daito, and Samantha gives them a warning that like Wade's in trouble. And then it was within 5 minutes in the movie. They're there.
I know.
Like what? Like in person, not in like the game.
Yeah, exactly.
They're there in person. And I was just like, okay, what? Like that was the only point in the movie that I was a little confused. And then of course the cops. I mean, the whole movie, this evil corporation IOI, they like sort of feel like the police or like the government
they totally
or something.
do.
And then all of a sudden at the very end of the movie, you see like a cop car come up and like
there's like a bunch of cops.
Where the cops been?
And there was so like
there's like explosions and shit going on and like
the whole
like a company is flying drones around killing people.
It's no, and I guess the government is in shambles. The way he does set it up at the beginning, there's been a dust bowl, and like you don't really, they don't give you an inkling of like what the governmental status of like the United States. Obviously, there has to be something, but like you're a little confused in that respect. And then the end really kind of, I was like, guys, what is going on? And the fact of what's his name, the bad guy, he's going after Wade in real life, and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go kill this kid. I'm just gonna do it. And if there are cops, like we do find out, he's going into the middle of a crowd with a gun, and everyone's like, all right, we're just gonna get out of his way. First off, there's 100 of you. Rush him. Take the gun. You're fine. Second off, he gets to the van, opens it, and Percival or Wade has the egg, and he like sees it reflecting off his visor, and he has like, I guess, a change of heart. Like, I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
I don't understand what he was. He looks at him and just goes like.
I guess he realizes that like it's over. Like
I guess
he
but
sees
like
the egg, he doesn't have the egg. Like
I assumed that they were trying to get across that he was like, oh, this kid actually just really, because he's like tearing up and stuff.
Right.
Wade, and like I was like,
maybe,
oh, he feels for him, and I'm like, but that doesn't make
not
any
that
sense.
he feels for him, but maybe because somebody actually found it.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day he would have been screwed. But then like, what was he gonna do? Shoot this kid in the middle of the crowd, and then the cops show up, and like, well, you're going to jail. So, I don't know. There was
it was a little goofy.
The
ending is probably definitely like one of the weakest parts of the film.
The whole big battle scene was awesome.
That was really,
it was some crazy cool CGI and stuff. But
and I think what gives this movie, I want to say like replay,
a tiny
value
bit of a pass,
it's a video game movie, but rewatch value.
Yeah.
Is the fact that there are so many references that there's no fucking way you're gonna be able to find them.
I would be really, really happy if somebody online actually like
broke down
everything for scene,
because it's literally scene for scene. Like, there's just not enough time of that shit on screen.
Did you see
like,
Arkham Knight either time?
No.
Yeah, I saw when he was.
Yo, Blue Beetle is in there too.
I totally missed that.
There's so much shit.
Yeah,
so when he's walking into the archive, Arkham Knight's walking out, and he like looks at him as he's walking out.
Yeah, like you see Harley Quinn like 3 times.
Yeah,
Tracer you see a few times. Joker you see once.
I assume
Batman
everyone can
once.
be any avatar. Like, so there could be a ton of Harleys out there. It's just a skin. Right? That's what I assume how it works. I thought that was. This is like a video game nerd's fantasy, though. Like the way this works. Like if this actually ended up how things work, you'd go insane.
Imagine like VR chat meets Sword Art Online. That's like what this game is. Like,
and it's fun because you don't see any fat people. I think is interesting because everyone's moving. I thought that was actually so like this isn't a video game that leads to everyone just like the classics. You're sitting there.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't think about that.
Right, like because you're actually exercising every day if you're actually walking around places. But I thought that was actually super cool. A lot of cool concepts in this movie.
Yeah, like I would love to just like see this movie on FX in a few years and like turn it on and like watch some parts and be like, oh, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. And then like turning it off because it's not a movie where I think you need to watch it through. But there's definitely some of those scenes where you'd like to just be like, let me see if I can see something different this time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's like the obvious references, like the cars, like the Akira bike, the DeLorean.
Yo,
like,
was there a Tron cycle? I was looking for Tron stuff. I was like,
that would have been a good.
But I thought Iron Giant is Disney too.
Yeah, no,
yeah. So there's clearly no Nintendo stuff. I was talking about in the car.
Nintendo.
Like there's none. There's a reference to Mario Kart that somebody says, but like that's it.
Yeah, not even in like when they reference the old video games. There's still no reference of Nintendo. It's all hard.
I think trying to license that stuff out was impossible.
Yeah.
Like they just
Nintendo's really
like
tight.
they are, yeah. And I it took them forever to get this movie together just because of the licensing stuff. Because they had so many different characters.
Like there was some Halo stuff. We saw some Gundam.
Yeah. We had
my friend Super was going insane for Gundam.
Lancer.
Yeah,
all the Halo guys running in, they were like, "Let's go!" I was like, "Let's fucking go!" I love it.
It was cool.
Yeah. One more thing I do want to say about the technology that I really love about it is that it doesn't make you take this insane leap in logic. Like you're like, okay, I could actually see how this might happen one day.
Right.
But it's cool, and I can appreciate that in a movie. I hate when I see a movie and I'm just like, okay, that doesn't make any sense
like,
at all.
It would have been lame if like they did something more like Sword Art Online. I don't know if I've
know
seen
it's
that.
Sword Art Online.
The Sword Art Online like connects to your nervous system.
Yeah,
like, you like lay flat and like you're still moving and shit. And like this one is actually more like it's practical. Like you can see how it could work.
And
like,
it did look like the big bad guy had a seat like that though, that he just would sit in.
Yeah.
And like he'd almost just control his avatar through his mind, I
guess,
assume.
Yeah.
Because he's just sitting in a chair.
Sure.
Like,
I think.
but yeah, I thought that was interesting.
One of the things I really liked in the movie was, so there must not be social media in this world.
In this future,
the game is the
that's it. That's it.
Yeah. So
That's so true.
because I like how like they make it very clear that like, you're not supposed to like tell people your real name online, which was a kind of like an not old, maybe like early 2000s, like when multiplayer gaming was just coming up.
Yeah,
like,
they're like, don't share your personal
info. There was no social media to like get to know somebody. Like the way you found out who somebody was if they just told you.
You called them by their tag, yeah.
Which was rare, and like I'm known as Red Wolf Crusader online, which is
J-Bag Killer.
What?
I'm J-Bag Killer.
Yeah. It's just like
it's interesting. Yeah.
There's this like what am I trying to say?
Do you not like that they?
No,
did that,
I do because like I'm called like my gamer tag online by people who only know me through Xbox or whatever.
I really do love all the names too, like Artemis and Percival. I'm like, man, I want to make a character by Percival now.
Like the Matrix, where like they have their own like hacker names that they call each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because like that's kind of like what it is for if you meet somebody that you've played games with. I don't know. Like I know people's real names that I know from playing on the internet, but like I usually barely call them the real names. It's usually like whatever their online like name is. I don't know. I think it's
how it works.
It's obvious for me, but like for other people, I feel like that's like
there are just so many little things in here that you appreciate as a gamer. I do like that. Yeah. Or even just a pop culture lover in general. And I guess that's where it does succeed the most. And I'm happy this movie is fine. It's fun. It really is. It's fun. We keep saying
talk about the Shining scene.
Oh yeah, it totally caught me off guard.
Yeah,
that was really
it was a really good and I think necessary change of pace for that movie too, which was very much totally focused on like games and everything, and then all of a sudden you are in a movie where now you're getting like, the movie scenes and like references there, and it was just like I think it was really well done.
No, it was. What else was I gonna say? I had one more now. Just go. Gooch, anything else?
No, now that you're like putting me on the spot.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, the Shining scene was definitely cool. I think each step of the Easter egg was kind of cool and like its own little.
I love the race. I really did.
The race.
I thought that was
the
really
race
cool.
was cool. Yeah,
it was clever. Like how.
Oh, I remember the word. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they mocap? Do you know at all, or was it all like CGI? I don't think they did.
How did they make the Shining place?
Well, they can just design that set and they digitally insert you. And see, I'm curious if like in the real world places, like when they are there, did they mocap them for the thing? I'm curious if it was all because they looked very well done. I guess that's not a hard thing to do.
I'm sure that this movie is going to be really interesting to see, like the making of, and then how they did all the licensing.
I'm super interested.
Just legally, like
it seems like a nightmare. Yeah, really.
What did you guys think about the the nerdy romance between Wade and
Again, the writing was just like it wasn't like it was kind of just. I get it. He was falling for her. I thought that was interesting, but it just felt a little forced. And I gotta admit, their chemistry together made it work better for me. I thought they actually
it's
were
not
fine
that it was
together.
forced, it's just it was quick.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I know about
honestly-
I cared in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it was just like, I love you, and then like,
I
they
love
were,
you.
like,
Oh,
about
when he
to go
says
for a kiss,
when
and
he
I'm
said
like,
he loves her, I'm like,
I'm out.
all right,
Yeah.
I'm like, let's take this.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Like honestly,
Whoa,
I thought
right
it
in
was
there.
like I thought it was like kind of cute. The
Yeah.
whole
No,
thing.
I did like
I
it.
did. Like
When
I-
they were
like
at the end
it's
together,
a very
yeah.
like nerdy thing that I could like get behind, and I'm like, oh, this is cute. I don't know.
No,
but yeah,
I
it was a
thought they
little
were fun.
corny. I'm not gonna say it
lots
wasn't.
of That
It was
last
definitely
scene, like the last
So
scene they say
much
to each
corny.
other. Oh my.
yeah. The
God.
last scene in the movie is like what?
Wow, that was bad. I like.
It was odd.
Yeah.
It was just odd. Like yeah, it was just some of it was just a little weird.
Totally, and that's where I said it really was like them together. I thought
But
was fine. The writing just was.
Well, yeah, like when they're at the dance club and like she's like getting on him and like he has the suit and like he's feeling that. I was like,
I actually
yeah, I like.
forgot about that scene. I like that scene a lot
I-
when he goes where he flips it. All the flip out of like how they just pull up their menu and how the whole UI works really cool. He
Yeah.
just flicks up a song, 80s, like flicks it
Yeah,
into the
they
thing,
turns
and then
on,
they
like,
start.
the Bee Gees and, like,
yeah.
Yes, Saturday Night
it's so
Fever.
good. I loved it.
Yeah, it was like there were definitely moments in this movie where I was just like, damn, like I really want this to be real.
Right?
Like
It's
I
so
really
true.
want this
Watch
to
it,
happen.
I know. My apologies.
So yeah, I think just for like that element of just like the excitement of like letting your imagination go with that and like seeing all this stuff go, I think it's totally
It's the best
great.
part of it.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it
they
really
did
is.
it really well.
But anything else, guys? Is there anything else we're missing? I'm trying to think.
I think if you're a gamer, you're definitely gonna like this movie. If
Yeah.
you're not,
Yeah.
I would be interested to hear your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't-
think even
you
if you're a
definitely-
movie buff, I think you'll really like this movie. But I don't know.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of references going on. You're gonna get something out of it.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah, that's
You don't
totally
need to
true.
get everything. Like as gamers and people who know about anime and movies and whatever, like we're gonna pick up on things as we see them. But again, I didn't see every fucking
Exactly.
Easter
Yeah.
egg
It'd be
reference
impossible.
in that movie. But I would love to watch a YouTube video
Like,
that
going
totally
over-
breaks it all down.
Just to pause that battle scene, I don't even
Oh,
want to
it's
know
like
how
so
many.
much.
One frame.
Yeah,
It's like-
exactly.
Yeah, like Chun
Thousands
Li's in
and
the front. There's
thousands.
not like I'm trying to think of like what like you see Tracer like 3 or 4 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Same with Harley,
And-
but she's all in that one scene.
Like I was saying, I think that just kind of was to show how popular they are. Like everyone's playing as Tracer and Harley because everyone
Right.
thinks that they're so. I thought
Yeah.
I took it as that.
I
way
was
anyway.
surprised they didn't use other Blizzard properties, considering they used Overwatch.
Like
Like,
a
no
Warcraft,
Warcraft,
yeah.
like just like an orc from Warcraft. Like you would.
Dude, he
I
might
would-
be in that battle scene somewhere.
Yeah,
He
like,
could,
that's
Might
like,
be in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there might be just like hidden in there.
Yeah, I think it would have been funny though if they played on like how many like cosplayers and stuff that like I thought it'd be funny if there was a scene like where he walked by and then like there's just like 6 or 7 Harley Quinns.
Yeah,
And he's
that
just, like-
would be really funny. Actually, they should have done that. That
That'd
would have been
be funny.
amazing. Oh, that's great. I actually one more thing I thought was an interesting aspect with IOI is their loyalty things. Was it?
Yeah.
So-
it was,
Was that what it was? Loyalty center.
loyalty centers. Yeah.
So basically, if you go in debt online, and you're in debt to the government, essentially, I assume, and IOI can buy your debt, and you're basically a prisoner at IOI working off your debt in the Oasis to get fake
And
coins.
IOI's
Right.
like
They're the second biggest tech company in the
MO
world. Yeah.
is to like
Make money.
but like figure out the Easter egg.
Yeah.
For the last 5, because they've been
Yeah.
wanting to get the control. They have like literally, they're called 69. What are they? No, Sixers.
Sixers.
69ers.
That's because their names are 6-digit numbers.
Yeah. But that was a very interesting idea and thought. I thought that was very
Yeah,
cool.
I like how right in the beginning, Wade like changes his guy's hair. Like
That was cool. Like,
yeah, I thought it was pretty funny.
it was really awesome. There was just like, oh, I want this to be real so bad.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, I was
really,
like like putting myself like in this movie, and I'm like, what would I look like? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, like this.
I was like, I know what I'd look like. I don't know, it's just cool.
No, it is cool. I just be like, all right, I'm gonna have every Justice League skin, and
Yeah,
then
well,
every like just.
I like, you
I'd
know
go
what?
right
I'm
there, yeah.
surprised they didn't do much. I mean, we only had one visual and like mention of Batman, but like not a lot of superhero stuff, which is cool.
No, I thought that was
I'm glad
fun.
they
That
didn't
was actually
overload
appreciated.
it.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm really glad that they didn't do that.
The
Yeah,
hardest one was
yeah,
like
me
the
too.
super. Obviously, what's his name's
Batman
character
was
was.
fine, you know?
That was
It's
funny.
Batman.
Just like you can climb the side of Mount Everest with Batman,
Yeah.
and then like, but what's his name? The bad guy's avatar was Superman. He was
Yeah,
close-
he
he
did
was-
kind
he-
of
looks like
he-
Superman.
I
looked
think
like
he was
Clark
supposed to
Kent,
be
though,
like
yeah.
not Kingdom Come, like Dark Knight Returns Superman, like that big square. I mean, he did. He was supposed to be Superman. I mean, even his eyes glowed red when he was in anger.
Like Clark Kent Superman.
Yeah, well, he even had the Jerry curl, and he was dressed up as Clark. Yeah, you're right. That's what I mean.
He looked like Clark. Yeah.
And then he had like the armored suit. I thought there were some very.
I thought
cool...
the T.J. Miller character. I
Awesome.
forget his name. He was cool.
I thought he
kind of looked like Reaper, the guy with the skull in his chest.
Dude,
what was his name? Eco? Or?
I can't remember.
He
I
was cool,
love the
though.
part
I
where
like
he's
his design. Yeah, he looks like Reaper.
He's gonna blow up the whole world. He's like, no, dude, I thought you were bluffing. I got 10 years of shit inside me.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
He's like,
dude, yeah, like that was crazy. The end, how he used that thing.
yeah, no, that
They
was
all
cool.
lost.
Yeah, he
And
was
that
funny, like sarcastic comedic relief to like
That-
the tense scenes.
Mhm.
Like the I keep forgetting the evil's dude's name.
I can't remember.
Nolan
Krennic. It's Krennic from.
something? I don't
It's
know.
Nolan.
Oh,
So Sorrento.
Sorrento.
Yeah, Nolan Sorrento. Yeah.
Sorrento like goes up and he's like, like Rico or whatever the name is, like how are you doing? He's like, like my neck, I think I got arthritis, and then he's like, just because he's playing the game.
Yeah, no, yeah. And then the second
Yeah.
time he walks, he's like, "Man, how's everything looking?" He's like, "I don't know. I think I'm gonna need some physical therapy. It's really killing me." Or something. It's so good, but they don't show him once in real life. I think apparently he got.
I think I recognize his voice.
It's
T.J. Miller.
It's T.J. Miller.
Okay.
It's from the guy.
yeah.
He's in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
He's the big.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
He's also in Deadpool.
yeah. He had like apparently he had some like I don't know what happened. Go up against him and then like
stuff.
yeah, and I'm maybe assuming that's why they didn't show his face, but either way, I thought he was fine. I thought he was hilarious. He was actually one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, that's it for me.
But I think that about covers it, guys. Overall,
That's it.
I think that's
yeah, check it out.
go see
It's
it.
good.
Go
Yeah.
see it. I
It's a
think
nice popcorn flick.
definitely, and I think seeing it in the theaters is definitely another experience unto itself.
I wonder what that would look like in IMAX.
IMAX 3D. I could that's a movie I could see. I'd be like, all right.
That would be a
I
pretty
think
good
this could
IMAX.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you all so much for watching. If you've been watching live on Facebook, we really appreciate it. You can find us here on Facebook.com/the Network, YouTube.com/the Delco Network, as well as Twitter and Instagram @the Delco Nerds. Thank you so much for watching. For Gooch, for Tim, I've been Trio. Stay nerdy, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Woo.